This is Marty Stewart with SeminarSecrets.com. You can hear the complete version of this big seminar interview by going to www.SeminarSecrets.com.
Again, folks, I know there's a couple people still joining us. Obviously, each one of the beeps that you're hearing is another person coming onto the call right now. And, folks, you can hear every one of those beeps that you're hearing right now is actually a new person jumping onto our call. And as you can hear, there's a lot of people on this call tonight. This call is going to have, I believe, the exact numbers are at this point, but we're going to find that out. But we're going to have about 600 plus people on the call, probably quite a few more since the last time that I checked it. Actually, we do have quite a few more. In fact, we have about 725 people on this call tonight. And this call is a part of the BigSeminar preview series. And tonight, we're going to be talking with Jonathan Mizel, and we're going to get started in about another 30 seconds or so. But again, you are on the BigSeminar preview series, and we are going to get started in 60 seconds. If you're wondering where you are in the right place. Again, my name is Armand, Morin, and we're going to be talking with Jonathan Mizel this evening about all kinds of ways to market online. And Jonathan's got some great information that he's going to share with you. I had a sneak preview he's going to talk about, and it's just fantastic. So each one of those beeps that you're hearing right now is a new person jumping on the call with us. It's going to be a tremendous call. Again, we're talking with Jonathan Mizel. In fact, Jonathan, are you with us yet?
I'm right here, Armand. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you great.
Oh, great. Okay. Got my name on.
Okay. Well, we're still getting a few people jumping on the call, so we're going to give them about another 15 seconds or so, and then we'll get the beeps toned down there.
That sounds perfect.
Folks, again, I just want to welcome everyone to the call tonight. My name's Armand Morin, and you are on the BigSeminar preview series. And, you know, we're putting on these series, obviously, as a promotion for the BigSeminar in San Francisco at the end of this month. In fact, August 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And we've really put together 13 of the world's top Internet marketers all in one place and at one time. And they're going to share with you for 3 full days how to market on the Internet. And we're going to show you step-by-step how to do it from the people that are currently. These people are all what I refer to as active Internet marketers, which means they're not they didn't just do something a few years ago and now just keep on talking about it for the last few years and not having done anything ever again. They're currently marketing products and services on the Internet as part of their daily business. They're active Internet marketers. And Jonathan Mizel is actually one of the people that we're going to be talking with tonight. In fact, he's the only person we're going to be talking with tonight. And Jonathan is a tremendous marketer, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Jonathan because he's got some tremendous studies as far as people he's worked with in the past. And over the last 10 years, he's consulted and direct coached with literally thousands of entrepreneurs and direct response marketers, everyone from top 500 companies to small mom and pop business. And here's just a few samples of some of his success stories. He worked with Microsoft. In fact, they used Jonathan to get 75,000 downloads in 4 days for Internet Explorer 4.0. Again, very impressive. How a little-known search engine company went from $10,000 a month in revenues, and after coaching with Jonathan, went over to $10,000 a day in revenue. And also, he worked with American Express and doubled the response of their new members' email solicitation using one of Jonathan's zero-cost opt-in tricks. And we're going to talk about some of those opt-in techniques tonight on the call. But everyone, again, I'd like to introduce you to Jonathan Mizel. So, Jonathan, welcome to the call tonight.
Well, thanks a lot, Armand. Honored to be here. Really looking forward to getting out to San Francisco and meeting everybody. A lot of people know it, but that's where I'm originally from. So, for me, it's like going home.
Now, Jonathan, I know when I got online, years back, you were one of the first people that I seen online that had a success, what I would refer to as a successful direct marketing website. And and the first thing I did is I saw your site and I subscribed to your newsletter. And,
right.
And it's a great, tremendous information, tremendous advice that you give in the newsletter still to this day. And now you have a coaching club, and you have actually several coaching clubs actually that you're doing as well too. And one of the things when I was first got online is I always wanted to know about was where do people that were successful online, how did they start, and what was it always always, just roses coming up all over the place for you? Or was it, maybe a little bit more complicated? So let me ask you this one question. That is, prior to the Internet, way back when, if you can remember back that far, what did you do before the Internet?
Well, before I got involved with Internet marketing, I was doing direct marketing, and just brief history, I started out in the insurance business, and one of the things that we were doing was a lot of direct mail and a lot of direct marketing. And in fact, I didn't even think about it at the time, but we had one of the very first successful offline affiliate programs where in the insurance industry we had an insurance product, a particular product that only agents could sell. And so my job was to basically go out and drum up business from agents or affiliates, or in the case back then we called them sub-agents or resellers. And I got a real good taste for direct response marketing, for copywriting. The thing that was so exciting to me was we would send out a bunch of letters, and 3 to 5 days later we'd get just a flood of responses. We'd get applications for insurance and applications to be resellers, and people would call. And I thought to myself, God, this is pretty darn cool. We can just sit in the office and not even go out and directly solicit. We're just doing direct marketing. We're getting people interested in what we're selling and promoting, and they were coming to us. And a funny story was, Marlon Sanders loves this story, because I knew him way back when, at the very end of my insurance career. I would basically get into the office and spend about 20, 30 minutes in the morning drumming up business, calling agents and stuff, and then pretty much take the whole day off until about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, where I come back and follow up with all of the people who had sent business in. And so I really got a taste not only for direct marketing, but also for using the reseller or affiliate concept to make money. And after that, I started selling. This was back before the Internet, on the days of AOL and CompuServe. I started creating and producing direct marketing books, direct mail stuff, and I was doing some reselling stuff for other people. And we were, Marlon Sanders and a few of us way back then, and Declan Dunn, we would put ads on AOL and CompuServe, little classified ads, and get leads, and then follow up and sell our direct marketing stuff. But you made a comment, was it all roses back then? And a lot of people say, gosh, it's so hard today because there's so much competition. and it's true, there is a lot of competition, but there's one thing today that everybody has that we did not have back then, and that was customer acceptance. And let me tell you, you could not for the life of you get someone to fill out a credit card number on a website. I mean, it just wasn't going to happen. So all of our marketing had to be offline. We used to have to send out stuff by fax, and people would mail and fax and call in their orders, and there was a lot more work to do back then. I think anybody getting into the Internet now, looking at it, saying, gosh, there's competition or there's barriers to entry. Let me tell you guys, it's so much easier now because you've got automated tools and systems. I mean, you got to understand, we didn't even have autoresponders back then.
Right.
I mean, when we got someone wanted information, my assistant had to physically email or direct mail the information out to them. And so, nowadays, it's possible to use technology to just generate loads and loads of customers, tons of leads, tons of opt-ins, and the processes that we have available to us today are significantly stronger than we had back then. So anybody listening to this saying, gosh, I wish I was around back then, you really don't wish you were around back then. It was tough to do business, and even though there were less competitors, there were far less customers.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because I remember when I first got online, one of the first sites that I set up, it wasn't even on a secure server. In fact, I didn't even accept credit cards; I just accepted checks. and they accepted checks, and I took their checking information over the internet, which is a little different. But it's a good point that you make. That back then, there wasn't any example to go by. You guys were the example.
We just took the traditional direct marketing stuff that we learned from guys like Dan Kennedy and Ted Nichols, and Gary Halbert, and Joe Sugarman, and Joe Kosman, and some of you guys are listening to those names, and, you think those are the old dinosaurs. And they were. Even back then, some of them had been around for a long time. And we just transfer that stuff over as simply as possible onto the web and onto the Internet. And let me tell you, it worked. I mean, strong sales processes, strong ad copy, quality follow-up, customer interaction. That's what does it. It does it online, it does it offline, it does it face-to-face. And the fact is, if you can sell, or if you've got a sales letter, if you've got a process in order to get customers, and it works, and you've got a market that, is more than a few thousand people, like, a real market, gosh, you can use this Internet to just make a ton of cash. I mean, it's possible to go out, and we'll talk about it at the seminar, and I know you got a lot of people at the seminar talking about a lot of stuff. One of them is just the idea of using resellers and affiliates. I mean, it is so easy if you've got the system down, if you've got a good sales letter. I mean, there's a couple of ifs there, and I don't want people to think that they can throw a junky site on them and start making money, because that's absolutely not the case. But if you've got a strong process, which is not that difficult to build, not that expensive to test, and not that time-consuming to create, you can make way more money than you can with a job. I know. I live over in Hawaii, and, we're surrounded by people who wonder what we do all the time. And the fact is, we just do what we've always done. We find good markets, and we create great products for them, and we just put the two together. A lot like what you do, Armand.
In fact, folks, I was talking with Jonathan earlier today, and one of the things he said, I think if it's at 9 p.m. Eastern, I think I can go scuba diving that morning.
We didn't get to scuba dive, but we did take a nice walk on the beach.
So, so that kind of gives you the idea of the kind of lifestyle that you can have if you follow the advice of what Jonathan has to say. Now, Jonathan, one of the things that you have you've really concentrated and focused a lot of effort on, especially recently. I know you've always focused on it, but is the importance of having a list. I mean, we've all heard many people talk about, the importance of a list, that the gold is in your list, the money is in your list, everything revolves around a list. And lately, I mean, especially in the past 6 months, in particular, because I know some of the numbers that you've mentioned to me. And every time I've talked to you, I mean, some people on the call are talking about growing the list by 10,000, 20,000, and you're talking about growing at hundreds of thousands of people at a shot.
Well, it's true, but I don't want to discount someone. I mean, I made really good money having a list of, 20 or 30,000. And
right.
Gosh, there's a great saying, I don't know if Alex said it or Yannick or some marketing person, not me. They said, a list of just 2,000 or 3,000 of the right prospects, I mean, you can retire on. If you've developed that list properly and you've taken good care of it and you've got something to offer people. So, we've taken a slightly different approach, and you're right, I became absolutely obsessed with growing a mailing list and did everything I could to make sure that the list, and various lists, because we have like 20 or 30 different lists now, that they grow as fast as possible. In fact, every single resource of our company has been put into list building to the exclusion of other things. And, sometimes we wonder, gosh, this is so much work, why are we doing this? Well, we're doing it because when it's all said and done, I want to end up with a list of 10 or 15 million people.
Right.
And then, once you have a list, I mean, let me just talk about it, because people say, they say the gold is in the list or the money is in the list or whatnot. But I want to explain to everybody what it means to have a big mailing list. I want you to just think for a minute and imagine that you have a big, fat list. And let's look at the implications of what that means. Because, first of all, if you wanted to roll out a new product, you don't have to spend money on pay-per-click search engines. You don't have to spend money on advertising. You don't have to beg somebody who has a list to help you out. honestly, all you have to do is just send a survey out to people. If you've got a list, you've got at your disposal the secret answer to the question, will this thing make money? You can go ahead and you can send surveys, or you can do questionnaires, or you can drop a question to people and ask them whether or not they'd be interested in a product that you're thinking of developing. So it's a really great way for intelligence. And that's like the least of it, Armand, okay? I mean, another thing is, if you're thinking of rolling out a product, we're finally at the point on the Internet where, and I say this, you know, with just to be nice to people, but the truth is there's hardly anything new on the Internet. And if you're one of those people that should have something new or special or unique, you probably want to wait until it's a little bit more accepted, because you don't want to have to make your market. But the point is that we're at this great point of the Internet where just about anything you'd want to sell, someone already else has developed it, and there's an affiliate program for it. And so rather than you going out and redeveloping the product and you coming up with your own version and making your own headers and covers and software and delivery system and thank you pages and all that stuff, it's real easy to just take an existing affiliate program, write your own teaser ad, and do your own mailing. And you can tell really quickly whether or not there's a market for this kind of product that you're thinking of developing by selling somebody else's product. And if you've ever wondered whether or not it would work, you just pull out your old mailing list and you drop a mail, 5, 10, 15,000 pieces, and bang, you're going to see if it works. And even though there's differences in sales processes, so on and so forth, and copy and headlines, I would never suggest that you mail an offer to your list that's not good offer. I mean, you'd want to make sure that you take a look at what you send out first. But the fact is, if you've got something that you think you want to sell and you've got a mailing list, you don't have to worry about development. You just find a similar product with an affiliate program, mail your list, and see what happens. And if you get a winner, bang, you can go ahead and develop. And if you don't get a winner, which, by the way, most of the time happens, I don't want people to think that, 9 out of 10 are winners. No, 9 out of 10 of the things that you do are not winners. 2 out of, what does Marlon say? 2 out of 10 are average. 7 out of 10 are blown. You're like total money losers. And then there's one winner. So this is going to allow you to identify your winners really quick. The other thing is, in the old days, like 2-3 years ago, it took 2 people to make a marketing party. It took a guy with a list and a guy with a great offer. Well, we're finally at the point where there's way more great offers than there are great lists. And the people who have lists, those are the people who decide who they're going to work with. There's none of this, I need to make money with my list, whose offer can I send? If you've been in this business for any length of time, whether you're selling to internet marketers or whether you're selling to, work-at-home moms or stay-at-home moms, or whether you're selling software or whatever it is you're trying to promote, if you're the guy with the list, you call the shots, okay? I mean, I've had many people recently come to us and say, Jonathan, I will give you 100% commission on the first 20 sales if you'll just please mail your list. So the person with the list is the person with the power. Make no mistake about it. And if you've got a list of people who are responsive, who you have developed, then you will get people coming to you with JV partners. It's not the other way around. I mean, the guys who are out there hustling right now are the guys who want someone else to sell their product. It's very easy to develop a product. It's much harder to develop a list. That's why everybody goes the product route, and they think, well, gosh, I'll just get Jonathan to send me all his traffic. I'll take all those names, and that's how I'll build my list.
You have
Sorry,
just
folks,
listened to a portion of this big
seminar
interview.
Those of us that do have mailing lists, we decide the people we want to work with, we decide the terms that they're going to be on, and we help them based on the fact that
version, simply go to www.seminarsecrets.com. Find out how you can attend the next Internet Marketing Big Seminar. And for a very special offer you can't refuse, visit www.seminarsecrets.com.